and welcome to another episode of Brooklyn's World. I really have no words. So I called a doctor so I could get a healthcare plan which would allow me to get a slightly cheaper rate to go to see the new dietitian that I was recommended. Now, although this doctor has known me for 2 years, this is what I had to deal with. So the first question that he asked me was, "Are you being treated for anorexia nervosa?" I just looked at him and went, no. No, I am not. Nor have I ever been. He then asked me about my old gastroenterologist, and I told him that I'd fired him because of the treatment that I was given. And his response was, "You can't fire a doctor." I just replied to him, "Do you want to make a bet? Because I'm never ever going back to him again." He then asked me why did I want to see a new dietitian, and I told him all about her and what has been happening, and that I didn't like the way that I was being treated with her either, and that I was about to fire her as well. He just looked at me and said, "You seem to be firing everybody. Am I next?" And I just said to him, "Well, if you don't listen to me and don't help me, then yes, you will be fired next." After all of this talking, all of the explaining that I had to do in a conversation that lasted about half an hour over the phone, he said to me, "Actually, I can't do these plans over the phone. I have to see you in person. So you need to make an appointment to come and see me." Why did he not tell me that at the very start of the conversation? I'm sure he knew that he couldn't do them over the phone. So basically, I just wasted half an hour of my time and of my voice for absolutely no reason at all. Like most medical interactions that I seem to have had lately, I came out of that conversation feeling deflated and mad. Those 2 words, anorexia nervosa, kept on going over and over in my head. And I started to feel so bad within myself that I was being judged and labelled with something that I don't have. This past week, I feel like my brain is being poisoned by misinformation and contradictory opinions from different doctors and different specialists. I just don't know what to do. All that I do know at the moment is that my mind and my body are not getting what they need or what they deserve. I think it's up to me to be making better things happen, because at the moment, I certainly cannot trust the medical field or the medical professionals. So after the week that I've had, I decided that I just needed to go for a little bit of a drive. Well, it actually will be a long drive, but that's okay. Pretty much just to get out of the house and process the goings on of this week. But when I get to my destination, I will give you an update. Nearly made it to the top. Who is R and who is E? Mystery. So I went to the doctor to get the paperwork for my healthcare plan, and once again I have no words. He asked me the same questions that he did during our phone conversation. Then when he started to write the healthcare plan, I asked him if he could get me the results of my barium swallow that I had, because I thought maybe that surgery would have a copy of it. He said no straight away without even looking, and then stopped what he was doing and started going through all of the results that were on his computer. After reading and scrolling for a while and not saying anything, he just put his head up, looked at me and said, "I don't think you have SMAS, I think you have an eating disorder." So it seems that while I was at the dam, I was doing a lot of talking to my camera and not actually doing any recording. So I'm going to have to fill in the blanks a little bit here because there's a bit of a section that's missing. The doctor then asked me, did I ever have an eating disorder? Did I used to eat normally? And what was my weight when I was in high school? Seriously, when I was in high school, that was over 30 years ago and I have no idea what I weighed back then. I then went on to tell him, no, I've never had an eating disorder and I've never been treated for one. I also asked him to ask anybody that really knows me what I used to be like and what I've become now. He didn't seem to be taking in anything that I was saying. He just asked me to consent to him writing a referral to a psychologist because he believes that my problem is mental, not physical. I couldn't believe it. All I wanted was one piece of paper, and I came out of the appointment feeling so deflated, not listened to, and not believed. I did agree for him to make the referral to the psychologist because I thought, well, there's two options that I can go with this. I can take the referral and then never make an appointment, and that's the end of that. Or I can go and see a psychologist, get them to write down that I don't have an eating disorder, and then whenever any medical professional tells me that I do, I can shove that piece of paper right in their faces. And of course, he told me that he wasn't able to make the referral in the appointment that I was in. I had to make another one and go and see him again so that we could do it. Unbelievable. Why is it so hard to get help and to be believed? Do doctors and medical professionals not realize what this is doing to my life? What it is doing to my body? What it is doing to every single part of me? Do they not realize what I miss out on because of this? Do they think that I like living like this? Do they think that I like spending thousands of dollars every year on medical treatments and medications and tests? That I like taking time off work to go to appointments? That I like living in a bubble? They just do not get it. But on a positive note, and me striving to find treatments that work for me, I have a fibromyalgia update. In going through all of the paperwork and trying to get all of my test results all put together for my new gastroenterologist, I found some old notes from an old gastroenterologist from many years ago. Although completely unrelated to why I was seeing this gastroenterologist, he was quite fascinated by my case of fibromyalgia because he too had fibromyalgia. He wrote me a list of things that he thought would be able to help me. Now at the time, I didn't really trust what he was saying because I wasn't seeing him for fibromyalgia and he wasn't a rheumatologist. So I just came home and filed that piece of paper away. Well, it turns out that this gastroenterologist seemed to have a little bit of a clue about what he was saying, because 3 out of the 4 things that he had written down for me were things that over time I was prescribed by a rheumatologist or by a specialist from a fibromyalgia clinic. I decided to look into the last thing that was on this list that this man had gave me, and it was a supplement. So I did a little bit of research and it turns out, yes, this supplement was specifically for fibromyalgia. So I thought, well, I'm going to try and source it and I will get it from wherever it is that I need to get it from, even if it's overseas, and give it a go. Especially considering that I'm in a bit of a flare at the moment. And I kind of think that if I just give it a go, then I won't be any worse off than what I am now. In researching this new supplement, I also found a cream that is for fibromyalgia as well. So while I'm out sourcing the supplement, I'm out sourcing the cream as well. And it turns out, for me, they're not that easy to get. So I'm hoping to be able to get them soon, and then I'll be able to give an update on how that's been going. Thanks for watching another episode of Brooklyn's World. Don't forget to subscribe.